Yo, it's your boy Marcus from Morsini back with a video, and today we're going to be covering the truth about COD Mobile DMZ, going into full details about the mode. Now that we're entering the new season of it, some of the changes they made for this season, some expectations going forward, as well as everything going up until today as I'm making this video about the mode. We're pretty much covering everything, right? We're kind of telling all, giving some own thoughts and opinions in this one, and general consensus and stuff like that. So diving into DMZ as a mode overall and how it fits into COD Mobile, right? So we have multiplayer zombies and BR, and then we get DMZ in, right? And DMZ is an extraction shooter, essentially, and it's not in the same demographic of games as, or modes, as multiplayer and BR, right? BR is very slow, but it's, it can move fast at times, just like DMZ does. However, like the looting in there is not the same as the looting in DMZ, right? In DMZ, like a big critical part of the game is actually looting stuff, right? Your economy score is super important. And in BR and COD Mobile, up until this most recent season, that was completely not the case. You just loot to find guns and plates, or guns and like adrenaline shots back in the day. Shout out to those who remember adrenaline shots. And that was it. That was kind of all you were looking for. Now with DMZ, you're looting for like everything you can get, right? I mean, you're looking for ultras, right? Mythics. And if you can't find those, then like legendary items that you can find on the ground. I feel like looting in DMZ is like an elevated version of looting in BR games, right? And I don't really play a lot of extraction shooters, but I feel like looting in this mode is actually fun and enjoyable to do. Like I totally don't push people at all, right? I play on generally pretty mid connection, and my game does not run well on my phone, so playing for looting is actually pretty important, because that's how I rank up, right? My economy score is going to be pretty high, and I'm going to get more points because of that, not because of my battle score. Let's talk about the ranking up in this mode, right? Ranking up in DMZ there's several ways you can do it, right? You get your base score, your battle score, your economy score, contract score, and I believe your extraction score, right? So your base score is just what you get for overall in the game, I believe. I don't know what that's based off of, but that's going to be the bulk. As long as you extract, it should be like 10 plus points. Your extraction score is the next biggest one. You either get like 10 to 20 points for extracting, or you get negative 10 to 20 points for extracting. There's no in between, right? So extraction is the most important thing to ranking up fast in DMZ. You need to extract in every game you play. If you don't extract in every game you play, then you are, costing, right? You're wasting your time in every game that you don't extract in, unless you find like a cool ultra and you're able to save that for like your inventory or something, right? Other than that, you're pretty much wasting your time. And then your battle score, in my opinion, is also a waste of time unless you're like going for like kills leaderboards or something like that. I find that fighting people, at least in my scenario, if you're in a scenario like me where your phone doesn't necessarily run the game great and you're not on great connection, that getting into any engagements with enemy players is going to cost you your life. Like you're probably going to die. So I don't think I've gotten more than like 5 kills in a DMZ game because there's just no reason for me to. That being said, it is fun to fight people if you are like on good connection and whatnot. Like you can definitely have a lot of fun, and they have changed up the battle score to buff it and make it more important. So next up, we got the economy score, which is basically your total money. So if you look in the top left corner, you see I have $180,000 cash, and then 1 million in the orange, which is like my economy, I guess. I think they both kind of count towards your overall score, so it's important to have a lot of both. But I feel like I think the orange number matters more. The higher the orange number is, the more economy score you're going to get. So that's what I feel like I've noticed. I don't feel like I usually get above more than like 500,000 in the white number, because most of the money I accrue for that is through contracts, right? Not necessarily killing bots or real people. That being said, let's talk about DMZ contracts, right? I did my rankings video of all the contracts a while back where I ranked every single contract in DMZ. I've also done top fives on that. The contracts are really cool. I find them really fun for a handful of them just to do. And then a handful of them I find to be kind of pointless, like the one where you hunt squad. That's super pointless for me because I don't want to go kill people really. Like I try to avoid players like the plague. So that one, I don't find that one useful. It usually just gets me killed, gets my teammates killed. And every time I see somebody grab that, it's stupid. It's almost the same for corporate rivalry, but the reward is just too good for corporate rivalry. So I have to do that one. You know what I mean? It's worth running into people because I'm going to come out of there with $4 million. You know what I mean? Or more. I could come out with $1 million, but I got the ultra. You know what I mean? So it's corporate rivalry is totally worth the hustle that it takes to get it. That's why I think I put it at number 2 in my overall contracts because the reward is just simply so good. Yeah, DMZ, a ton of fun, right? Let's talk about the maps. Right now, we have a total of 3 maps that we've seen in DMZ, right? We have Serpent Island, which is the main big map. We have Building 21, which is the small map that we had for the first season of the game. And then Rebirth Island, which we currently have in the game for, I believe, all of this season. Pretty excited about that. I think 3 maps is good for this year. I hope they don't put it in another DMZ map before the end of this year. I feel like they're putting too much into DMZ right now. I know it is popular and a lot of people are playing it, but I also know a lot of people that don't like it and don't really care for it. So I feel like the community is kind of split on DMZ as a whole. So I definitely think DMZ is more like a relax and chill mode for me, right? I think that the economy benefits and how much economy is worth makes it to where I just kind of hop in. I want to run around and find the best loot that I can and then get out the game, right? And then get into the next one, do the same thing. And that's how I play. I have a ton of fun. And it works for me. I think I'm at like an 80% exfil rate. So that's not great, but I'm getting better. So it will slowly improve over time. I'll start, dying less. One of the problems I've seen with DMZ is load times for queuing. I wish that the load times weren't so long. I feel like on all the other modes, I don't have any problems with load times. In this mode, I feel like the load times take forever. That might be because I'm only playing Serpent Island and I haven't played Rebirth DMZ yet. So maybe everybody's playing Rebirth DMZ and that's why I can't find games quickly. But I didn't really feel like I had that problem with Building 21 when I did play. I didn't play it much. I literally never posted a video of it. So I never won a game on Building 21. That's why you guys never saw it. But yeah, Building 21 and Rebirth are just much more, they're almost like BR DMZ. Like they're literally BR DMZ in the way that I don't know if you can actually play that map and extract without killing everybody that's real on the map. And I feel like every time I run into anyone on Building 21, I just, like it was a full stack team and it was super insanely sweaty. So maybe that's just me. I don't know. But Serpent Island, I feel like I could just chill. Like I'm just having a good old time, doing my thing. Now, let's talk about the loot pool and like what you're looting in these items, right? I think they've done a pretty cool job. Like some of the stuff you're looting seems fun to loot, and that's why I enjoyed doing it so much. I feel like a lot of the loot items, and their loot hit rates are cool. You know what I mean? Like purses, you know what I mean? Purses give you great loot, and it's something you wouldn't even think about, being a purse snatcher in COD Mobile DMZ. You know what I mean? It would benefit you to do every purse that you see because they have great legendary hit rates. I've even seen ultras in purses, so I would definitely make sure you get your purses, right? Toilets, anything that hangs on the wall, like a jacket or like a bodysuit or something that's hanging on the wall, hazmat suit, those are great too. I think that's interesting. Also, there's so much to do with the access cards. I think the access cards are an awesome feature to DMZ, and I think there's even more they can do with this kind of thing, right? Serpent Island is a massive map, right? It's a huge map, and the access cards are basically hidden areas on this giant map where if you have the access card, you can get into this room that's going to have a bunch of super cool items, super high rarity items, ultras, things like that. And you can come out with a lot of money from just having this access card that you got for like 400,000. Pretty cool. I really think that's an awesome thing. I think the access cards, I use them every game that I have one. If I can get to one of the access card locations that I have acquired something for. Now, there are some access card locations that are definitely hard to find, but I think that's the point of them, right? If you haven't just looked up a video, there's plenty of videos out there of people who have already mapped out all the locations and found them all. That way you guys can easily find them. I find that in Building 21, the access card locations are very, like, I feel like you kind of just look for this door, this white door in this room. You know what I mean? That's where it's at. I feel like that's kind of weird. I would like to see them improve on this with updates and make something more than the access cards. More like the paintings in this temple that I'm in. Whatever you call this temple that I'm currently in. Like this secret room here, which I don't know if it's secret anymore. Everybody knows about it now. But it was secret. People didn't know. You know, it's kind of weird to get in here. You gotta like climb around and do a bunch of stuff or go up through the hidden like back tunnel that I went up. Like this secret room is cool. There should be other totally secret places that are just on the map that you can access that take like more skill to get to or knowledge to get to. And they should just put them in, but don't put like access cards to get there. Just put them in, don't tell nobody, and people have to find them. You know what I mean? I think that would be cool. It's like Easter egg hunting. I think that's a good idea. For example, a good place to put one that I have thought about is over in the beach at that dock that's out there, the long stairwell at the beach that goes all the way up to like that little building. Put it out there at the bottom of that building, right? Or put it out there underwater at that building, and people have to go around and swim in. And then once they swim in, you know, they got to get in there and grab the stuff out of there, right? But make it totally hidden where it's like you have to put in some work to actually get it. I think that's an awesome idea. I think they should add in more secret stuff like that, especially as Serpent Island. It's such a big map. There's so much you can do with that kind of thing. DMZ, man, there's so much about this mode that is really makes it more replayable, right? I mean, if I'm on good connection, man, I just go out there and slay people out. And when we're talking about slaying people out, let's talk about guns, metas, and weapons. I feel like the meta, they've kept it changing. Like, whether they mean to or not, they've definitely kept it changing. I don't feel like first season, I feel like it was all Ram 7 ISO, but then like they put in the mythic, no, ultra attachments, and that changed it up completely. I feel like then you didn't see the Ram 7 as much as you did in the beginning, and then you started to see ISO 14s start to come in, and then a lot of Type 19s. For anybody who got a thermal, the Type 19 thermal was phenomenal. I think they did a good job with that, and I think but ultra attachments going forward could definitely change the landscape of the mode. I do think those can be kind of ridiculous to acquire, though. In my experience, I haven't been able to get one, but I've been able to see gameplay of it, and I've just basing my opinion off what I've seen. As you can see right here in this part of this gameplay, I'm waiting for this real player, wherever he's at, to screw off, because I don't want any part of that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get out of this game with the money that I got. I don't want to die and then, you know, be stuck with nothing. That being said, yeah, the current meta, I think they're literally calling Rebirth Island Striker Island, because apparently the Striker is insane. I don't care for it for some reason. I think it's because my ADS button's weird, but that's definitely something that I foresee changing soon. I don't think they're going to keep the Striker meta. You know what I mean? They're going to get rid of that at some point in time. People are going to find that to be pretty toxic and annoying. Yeah, that's what I got for DMZ. Let's talk about the POIs, man. The POIs are great. I think the POIs are great on all the maps generally. Like, I feel like it's fun, except for Building 21. I kind of feel like everything is just hallway room, garage, hallway room. So I feel like it's not as fun on that one. I feel like that's the worst in terms of POIs, but the other two maps I think are great. Now, covering up some of these final items to talk about in this mode. Let's talk about the camos, because I think these are phenomenal. I'm going to be making videos on these camos over the next couple of days. The camos that you get, like the seasonal camos, so ruby and amarine or whatever they are this season, they're all like gemstones this season. So they're awesome camos, phenomenal. I think they did an excellent job with them. They were bugged on day one, but they already patched them up and they look right now. So they're beautiful, they're reactive, they're colorful, right? Like ruby is just beautiful, bright, moving red all over your gun. It's phenomenal. I totally avoid this guy. I just let him go when he calls in this helicopter and then runs away. I was like, did he call that in for me? If I go down there and like try to go shoot him or something like that, then the guy who's above me comes back and kills me. I don't want any part of that. So I was like, all right, I'll go down when it gets close. And he ran away, so it made it easier on me. Yeah, I find DMZ to be a ton of fun. I think the mode overall is pretty good. Definitely has more room for improvement, but overall, ton of fun, man. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you want to. It's been your boy Marcus from Orsini. I'm out of here. Peace.